Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Doc from North America, and it is TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. It is Friday. It's the end of the week after an excitingly wild and woolly week. And there's not much, can't say much more than that. It's been wild. And the markets have been pretty firm and consistent. We've watched the interest rates rise, rise, and rise. Um, we've been looking for that to happen. Uh, you can see the currency pairs were telling us that. The algorithms were telling us that. Everything was telling us that. So that is not much of a surprise. Let's see, what's the news? Breaking news. We got September import prices. That's what it is. Okay. Okay. There we are. Import prices up 0.1% versus estimated 0.5. That's a good. That's good. That's good news. Yeah, that's good. There we are. So anyhow, that is that. So that's the only real data I think coming out today is the import prices. Um, let's see, what do we got going on here? You can see the dollar index lifting up. You can see the same thing on our new J4X uh, platform. Let's get rid of that right there. And we can also see it on the old platform. Let's put it up on there too at the same time. And that's because we talked about it yesterday. Showed you the different different yields of the bonds themselves and how we can see that this thing is trying to lift. And it doesn't seem like it's doing anything but that at the moment. Let's see right there. You see it's went into a buy yesterday just like ours did on the new platform. And it's just not updating that last one. We got to get them to shift this stuff over. And so, let's go over to it there right there again. And so you can see that. You can see that buying that's going on there. You see the weekly does not want to give up. That's what we've been saying for a while now on the euro and the British pound and everywhere else. We keep on seeing the dailies moving, keeping everybody safe, but it refuses to get the weeklies going. The weeklies just don't seem to be able to get going whatsoever. And that's the concern I have constantly is when I see dailies like this. It went into the daily buy here, and we can't get the weekly to back off. It's so steady and strong, and even the fast is refusing to go through the minus area. So it just shows you that there is not that much selling. That's the problem. It's been more of a buyer strike than it has been a selling. Coming in and just pushing it out and selling it. And that's where we stand at the moment now. You can see that the strength there. So. Oh, let's check the chat line too. What's going on in the chat line? Just Robin. Hey, Robin. So it's again we're not seeing the strength in the right places to be able to believe we're having any real move here. It's more like as we used to say on the trading floor, a dead cat bounce. It only bounces because of the energy from it, and that's about it. And then it stops bouncing, and then boom, that's where it's at. All right. From there, we jump over to the euro. Let's take a look at the euro this morning. Oh, we didn't open that up. Let's do this. We'll put it up over here. Let's get it up on this screen right here. The euro went into the sell yesterday, I believe. Let's find it. 6E. I think it's, where is it? 6E right there. Yep, pushed into the sell. Let's put it over here on J4X. You'll be seeing the same thing. You'll probably see a red hinky and just kind of pressing down right here. And there we are right there. You see that second day of a red hinky. And pretty much the same thing is going on over on, oh, it's loading it now. Okay. Let's see. I thought I had opened it, but I had not. Where is it at? There it is. Okay, so it's opening up now. Yeah, and that yen went up there to visit the 50 too. It was like, oh no, not again. And there it is right there. You can see we went into the sell yesterday, and you can see that weekly is just refusing to climb into the buy. And that is a big warning sign. You know, when we see that, and the daily will and can't lift the weekly, it shows you that it's very thin. That's what it comes down to. Very, very thin. What else can we say about the euro there? Just that it's the end of the week, and we're going to be in another weekly sell, and you know the algorithms are not turning up, and the daily is starting to come back down. We are a little bit firmer this morning, that's for sure. You can see that right there. Just a little bit firmer. It's trying to lift up. You know, it's just trying. But overall, we're now at one day in a sell going on a second day of a sell now. There it is right there. And that zero line, we've been in the sell from the 110 and change area, and we were trading in the 105 area. So there's been a lot of good pressure on the product, you know, from that weekly sell. From there, we go over to the cable. Let's put the cable up on there. The British pound, the Great British Pound, right there. Same situation. You can see the where's the no. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see. Trying to find the slow. What happened to the other side of this? File. Workspace. Recent. Let's try that. See if that'll put this slow up there too with the fast. I think I turned it on a different way too when we found it not showing. And we'll find out in a second here. Oh, I know what we did. There it is. I think that's what it is. Right there. There we go. And so you can see here, the fast is at 54. The slow is at 30. Is that 31? 31. So they're trying to climb, and they're doing it. This is the dollar index. Now let's get the GBP up there at the same time. Right there. And fast is at 47, and the slow is at 70, so it's gone into the sell. It's pressing down, especially with that, what do you call it, the slow algorithm and the red hinky. Combine those two together, it's definitely putting the pressure on it, that's for sure. Okay. From there, oh, and let's get it up over on the old Chicago quant one that we use still. Right there. A little bump also. But again, that weekly refuses to give up from the 128 area, is that? 127 area? And now we've traded as low as almost 120 and a half. All right. From there, we take a peek at the Swiss. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Let's just check it on here too. Let's try it on before I go to the Swiss. Let's go to the Euro GBP. 6C. There it is right there. You can see the same thing from yesterday. Pressing down. And it's not reflecting today's, which we have to get that straightened out. Something's wrong with that. All right. You can see it here at the same time. Let's go now to the Swiss. And we'll put the Swiss up on J4X. Dollar Swiss. There it is. A little bounce going on there. That same situation where it went into the buy yesterday. You know, that interest rate, we've been talking about this interest rate situation. Oh, was that SpaceX taking off? They're showing SpaceX going up and down. I think that's the Bezos. No, I mean that's the what's his name, Elon Musk. So we keep on seeing the same thing play out, and that is that interest rates want to go higher, and they keep on trying to tell us that they want to go higher through the way that the weeklies won't change in the pairs trades. And there's Robin, yo, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing that where they just cannot get out of their way. Mortgage rates are around the 8% area. You know, we've seen where some of the U.S. government bonds are as high as 5.6. You know, they're heading for that 6th percentile. And people find that to be a little odd, but it is what it is. Let's see, there it is right there. Let's put it up over here. There it is. You can see that same thing. And that weekly, at least that the Swiss weekly looked like it was trying to break down. You can see that it was trying to break down there. It just hasn't done it. That's all. It just just hasn't done it. So from there, what do we got from there? Let's go over to the yen. We'll put the yen up on J4X to start off with. And that yen keeps on reflecting weakness. You can see it there. The fast is at 83. The slow is at 68. The daily is definitely pushing firmer and firmer. And up here at 150, 189, that is a 40-year high. A 40-year high. Can you imagine that? 40, not 4-year high. 40-year high. And we're doing that same thing again. And just looking for it right there. There is. You know what? Right there must be the high. That's the real high. 151. That's the 40-year high. 151. 151. Let's see if we can get it again. Let me just widen that. I'll bring that over just a little bit. And that was back in October of last year. So they're going after it again, I guess. That's the way it looks to me. 151. Is that 94 or 54? Let me see. Let me see if I can get that close look again. I didn't think they were going to go visit it again, but they seem to be wanting to 94. So it was almost 152. And now we go over to here. And we keep on flirting with the 150 area. That's where I thought it would stall out again. I think the Bank of Japan is going to defend this thing as best as they can. And then let's do this. You can see the weekly there. Doesn't want to let go either from the low 140s, and now we're playing around with the 150. And we've had some real long rides on the buy side too. Let's see if we can reflect that. There we go, like that. So we went into the sell off of that, and that didn't live long. It did not live long. So we went into a buy here at the beginning of the month, went all the way into October, finally got into a sell. And I forget what they did. The government did something there. And it's doing it again. It's making, I imagine they must be enormously nervous about the idea of this thing breaking that 40-year high of almost 152. Let's see. I think I have this in here now. It's 6J or something like that. We look at the inverse relationship. There it is right there. Ooh, look at that gap. Zoom. Bang. Boy, that doesn't even make any sense. That's a futures contract. I'm trying to figure that one out. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. That must be yesterday without today's trades. And you can see it's been riding down, which, you know, that's that move right there. And that should be right there. That's the 12th. And what is that? That is, let's just amplify it. We'll figure it out. And they're saying that's the 12th. So there's, look at that move here. That's an interesting gap. I thought the futures contract was more liquid, but I think in these times it seems like it's less liquid. All right, and that is the yen. And again, I don't think I can outthink what they could come up with next on that. You know, what the Bank of Japan can do, and how they're going to maneuver around that whole situation. All right. So from there, we go over to the Turkish lira. I was surprised. I think it pushed into the sell last night. Yeah, it pushed into the sell. The way it was making that roar up into this area again. Again, that, I guess we should amplify that box. We go like that. Maybe that'll help. There it is. And that's where they, let's get rid of that. That's where they raised interest rates by, I guess, 100%, right? They went from 12.5% to 25%. And it helped for about 3 days. And here we are again, right where they started from. That's why government policies, if it doesn't cater to growing your economy and allowing business to grow, then you're wasting your time. Because government can't grow an economy. All they can do is get out of the way. That's really what it comes down to. Government needs to get out of the way and let businesses be businesses. But when they try to dictate how to run a business, and in the end result, you get this type of stuff where the poor currency's gone from 1 to 30. Can you imagine that? One euro to 1 Turkish lira is now 1 euro to 30 Turkish liras. And same thing with the dollar. You know, $1 to 1 Turkish lira under this policy has moved it into the 30 area. Talk about a calamity. Ugh. All right. From there, we go over to the top BRIC country, and that is the South African rand right there. Moving fast today, aren't we? And no one's in there asking questions or doing anything. We're going to go into the options. Take a look at some options here in a little bit. We can discuss options now if anybody cares to. I am always willing to have a conversation on the options. And obviously, you know, the same thing with the interest rates. Excuse me. The interest rates have been stumbling and a bumbling and, you know, just going in all kinds of directions. Now, this is the South African rand. You can see it's flirting with the weekly sell, which is really cool. Let's put that line in there just in case it actually closes there, which doesn't look like it's going to. Let's make it pink. We'll leave it as dots to begin with. At the same time, we've been in a daily sell right here. Now that means basically that the South African rand has been gaining against the dollar. So when it goes down, the dollar is losing money. That's what it comes down to. And that's a pretty positive thing to see, you know, because when this is going down, gold is normally going up right there. And there's the gold. You can say, ooh, look at that. What a nice pop that is. Okay, that's usually the way it works, and it's doing it. We've been in a daily buy for 5 days. The weekly is really treading water. It's really having a hard time get going. Let's take a look at, we're going to put the South African rand up on here. This way at least we can emphasize it as we look at it. And there's the South African rand. And if we turn off the hinky for a second, turn off the hinky, there it is. And so it's trying. Now this is interesting. That's gold. And let me just show you South African Rand on our work again. Right there. It's trying to take out these bottoms right there. And I guess we'll see this do the same thing very soon. And that pressure is on. And then we go back to the gold. Right there. And we've got gold up. Whew, we got some good gains in the gold today. Let's take a look at it on the new platform too. GC. Right there. December gold. Making that nice move. And so let's take a look at silver. Silver has been trying to make moves. I think it went out last night in a daily sell, but it's lifting back up right now as we speak. And so let me just refresh that, because I'd imagine that red dot is gone. There we are. Yep. So that's trying to get, and this is very close to getting into the weekly buy, as you can see down here. It's really trying. And let's put that also up on, let's see, where is SI? Right there. Doing the same thing, trying to lift up. And the weekly is still having a problem. Right there. We'll show you what we're talking about. You see it's getting into a buy. Same there. So obviously some of this is acting right. Alright, now from there we'll take a look at copper. Now this morning copper was still rolling over. But maybe, just maybe, it will be turning up just like we saw before. I wonder if I got the gold. Let me just go save the gold too. There it is right there. There we are. And there is the copper. And still in the minus on the copper. Let's put it up. You can see it right there. There we are. You see that right there? Copper was trying to lift this morning, and it's failed at it so far, which is a tad of a surprise also, because it had that look like it was trying to turn up, and then it rolled over. There it is right there. So I just heard a ding. Let's just double check where the ding came from. Yeah. Something about a package being delivered. Okay. And so there's the copper. And we'll save that. And like I said, I thought they were starting to turn that up, but it seems to be rolling over. Now, South African Rand is telling us all this pressure. You can see it's been moving down. Let's see if we can do this. There it is right there. Fast is at 14.6. The slow is at 13. So it's close. 13.2 versus 14.6. So a little pressure on the upside there. Just a teeny weeny little pressure there on the upside. And I think the options showed last. We can take a look and see what the options showed for the gold. Let's see, where's that at? Yeah, I'm curious if they picked up on that. I know that we showed on Monday that they weren't going anywhere for the week, and now it looks like they're starting to heat them up. We haven't looked at the options in a couple of days. Let's see what they're doing with that. We'll move this out of the way for the time being. I'm just going to double check them price wise. First, let's see. There it is. Okay, and so let's go and look at the price of the options in there. And I've got, let's see, where's it at? The product's trading at, okay, so it's discounted by about 100. So we're looking at, that's on the calls. Oh, yeah, and that's on the puts. So we're really looking at, I guess you could say we're looking at about $15. Let's see what they're doing today. Is it up $15? Let's go over to the gold again. I think it's up 20. Closed at 81. That's even more than that. It's 81, and it's trading at where's that at? That is 19. It's up $44, and the options were projecting. Let me just double check it. No, that's okay. That's not bad. It's projecting. It is projecting about $50. That's what it's doing. No. I'm wrong. 77. Okay, yeah. So it's leaped through it. That's what it's done. It's leaped through it by wait a minute, 1.5. Yeah, by $10. It was projecting like a $35 move. Wow. Okay, so it's a lot more juice inside of it than the options are telling us that they're pushing past what the arbitrage traders were thinking. And that's kind of something. It's rare that we see them get that far ahead, but we'll see now if it starts to amplify over the next couple hours. Let's see, where's that? That's that and that. Yeah, that's a pretty good move. It's beyond the options. Once in a while that happens. The options get blindsided. It's very rare. Most of the time it picks up on the action, but this is definitely looking a lot more firmer than we were expecting. While we're here, let's take a look at platinum. Platinum is at least trying to lift back up again. That's a good thing. Because that was a disappointment when it went into the sell with silver yesterday. So they are definitely blindsiding them. And none of them are in weeklies. That's the thing. None of them are in weeklies. And I keep on thinking, oh, how big or how real is this move? Maybe there's a nervousness kicking up. We'll see. But it definitely was looking for a much smaller range, that's for sure. Which is really hard to believe, but it is. Oh, wait a minute, that's not the price. I'm sorry. That's the delta. I was measuring the delta. Let me see if I can find the actual prices. Yeah, there we are. I was looking at the deltas. So that's okay. It's 120. Yeah, it's $10 off. How about that? And gold, the most they were looking for is the product to get up to about let's go back to the gold contract. Options were looking for, where's it at now? Gold is at 1926 on the futures contract, and the options were projecting 1916. So that's going to be very interesting today. See if they start expanding the volatility in the gold. All right, that is pretty much, we've finished off the metals complex, how we always look at South African Rand with metals. And South African Rand, let me just show you again. South African Rand projected it correctly. It's been doing that. Look at that whole move from the 1975 area down to the 1877. So almost a full handle of movement in the South African Rand. It's been saying to a strength. And sure enough, now yesterday they tried to lift it up and failed at it. That's interesting. It stayed in the sell, but they tried to lift it up and it failed. But here we are, pressing down with the fast breaking the slow. I mean, there's real pressure coming in on this product real fast. And you can see here, last time it did that was right there. Where's it at? Right there, where it starts to break down. And we'll see if this tries to turn again and the fast or the slow breaks through on the upside and we turn around and this thing gets back into a daily buy. But right now, it looks like it's definitely surprising the arbitrageurs and the option traders at the same time. All right, from there, what do we go to at this point? Let's jump over to, we go and look at Canadian. We'll look at the dollar Canadian pairs trade and see what the energies are doing. And there's Canadian. Yesterday they did the same thing, took it up, and now they're bringing it down a little bit. And this action down usually means that oil is gaining in value. But as you can see right here, there it is right there. You can see that oil has been breaking down for the last 4 days. Whereas in the last 4 days here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here. So it broke down the Canadian, which was telling us it wanted to lift, but you can see right here, it did lift a little bit and then started to break down. Now it's, you can see right there, crude is lifting from it just the same way that gold is lifting. You can see that strength right there. Now, I imagine just because of the situation in Gaza, I would think that's it. They've got the murderers surrounded. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. All right. So there's the Feb contract, 82.71 compared to the front month of November, 82.71 and 86.28. So 82, 83, 350. Is that what that is? About 350. It seems to be coming down. 82.66 now versus 86.24. Yeah, so it's like 350. We've seen it as high as almost $4. Matter of fact, I think we've seen it over $4. Now it's backing off a little bit, so the back months are starting to be picked up with everything else. And then let's see what the options look like there. No, that's not it. There it is right there. There we are. And it's doing the same thing, isn't it? Okay, so we're looking at the 73s. So there's 70. And then the put was right there. So we're looking for same situation. It's not the oil contract is definitely being surprised. In other words, they're not. It has not kept up. So maybe we're seeing some real surprise here that people weren't thinking was going to happen. Keep on getting dung these things. Here we are. All right, so oil is lifting up. Let's see what nat gas is doing. There's nat gas, and it's breaking down the last 2 days. I understand that Europe has about a third of what they need in inventory. Now, I'm not sure how that works, but at least they have a third of it already sitting there, stored away. So that's at least they have something to fall back on. They actually have a third stored away. That's good. You can see here it went into the sell yesterday, but it's in that weekly buy still, the natural gas. And then over here, let's find that oil company in Spain. Let's see what they're up to. There it is right there. And we'll put that up on the screen. Oop, where's the mouse? There it is right there. This is a Spanish oil company. It drifted down just a little below the 25 area, and now you can see it's trading at 25.40 area. It's been an interesting pop from this range right here, heading into a sell, which is a good thing. We've seen this thing trade up as high as the 28s and 29s and 30 over the last couple of years. And at least it's hanging around in the 26s now. That's a good thing. But natural gas is doing the same as oh no, actually it's backing off the last 2 days, whereas the let's see, oh, okay, the natural gas is backing off a little bit, whereas the actual crude oil is lifting up. And at the same time, we see the natural gas company down in Spain breaking off with the gas, doing that same thing there. Let's show you that. Right there. That pressure where it's trying to roll over. Would be interesting to see this thing get into a weekly sell, but so far we've not seen that type of action. And it's interesting, both gold and the oil options have been undervalued to the moves here. So they weren't really that nervous about everything. That's kind of interesting. See how they straighten that out today. All right. From there, let's go over to... Ooh, there we are. Let's see who this is now. Keep on getting all these dings. Here we are. Okay, so let me think now. Let's see. What we'll do is we will. Natural gas, we're done. Oils, we're done. We've looked at the Canadian dollar right there. Let me just take a look at the Canadian on this one too, right there. And there's the Canadian dollar. And a little pop here. So usually when that's rising, oil's going down. This is a little see, that's good. At least it's trying to go down today. But that was a real surprise also. And we went into that weekly buy last week. Remove that right there. Oop, let's try that one more time. Remove that right there. And just put the line in there. We didn't even put the line in there from last week. Which is a bear sign for the energy sector. And it was, the oil went down. But you can see here, let me just show it to you again. There it is right there. Oil was riding down for a couple of days, and now it's turned fast too. Well, it was up a little bit yesterday. I understand, was it inventories or something like that? We're really well off. All right. From there, let's see. From there, we will march over to... Where will we march over to? Let's see. Let's see. So from there, we'll go over to the stock indices themselves. Let's take a look at... You can see the S&P 500 is lifting back up again. We're seeing some real buying coming in here. And we'll see how that goes. But right now we're seeing some buying roll in. And I guess, there's a feeling that things are not going to be as bad, I guess. That's the only way I can look at it. What else can we say about that? That's the S&P 500 on a short-term basis. There is no news. IDF urges 1 minute. Okay. There is no real news until next week now. we've seen all the numbers. Interest rates seem to be the key there, and so what we're really seeing is at this point in time we're seeing that pressure on it, and it doesn't seem like there's anything slowing it down, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the actual daily on this, since it's such a quiet day. And there is the S&P 500. You see that it's trying to lift up a little bit. Went into the sell yesterday, and you can see the weekly, the fast is broken on the upside to get some action going in that direction. And let's put it up over here too. There it is, right there. And you can see it's trying to press up, and you can see 79 on the fast, 85 on the slow, so it's kind of trapped. Let's put the hinky on just to see what that looks like. Yeah, and we're starting to do the same thing right here. We're still in the minus by 350, as you can see right there, and the weekly is trying to turn. Now I think one thing that it is interesting is the Tech 100 right here. There's a Tech 100. It stayed in a daily buy. It's been in a buy from here, and we are off minus 21. At one point we were flirting, but look at the way the fast is busted up. And at one point yesterday we were in a buy on both of those until they sold it down. So that is definitely one thing I've been paying attention to. Now Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a look at that. Right there, and it's through the daily buy at the moment as we speak. You can see that right there on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The weekly is having its problems, and the fast and slow are still minus, but the daily is trying to turn back up, and it wasn't a buy throughout the whole week. Then went into the sell yesterday, and now we're starting to climb back up again. Now let's go check it out over here. Let's see, where's it at? Let's take a look at the last of the 4 stock indices right there, and that is the Russell 2000. You see the Russell still falling. Now that's basically made up of speculative money, solely because it has all the stocks in it are like something like I think a cap weighted under $5 billion. So there's like $500 million companies in there. It's like the old NASDAQ 100, which is now, which is the Tech 100 we just showed you, the NQ. And let's just show it to you over here on J4X. Right there, the Tech 100. Now, this is the Russell. And you can see all week long it's been firm. It's at 83 there. It's at 87 on the slow. So it's trying to get back into that buy from yesterday. But the Russell is weaker right there. This is the most speculative of all the products when it comes to the stock indices. And it's interesting to see the Dow flirt with a daily buy. So we're seeing some pressure on the upside from that. The options at this point are reflecting, let's see, where are the options in this thing? Okay, so the options, they were, let's see, what are they were projecting. Okay, and let's see. So was it 3.5? So they were projecting. They're projecting about another. I would say the S&Ps could get up. They're projecting this type of activity, and they're saying that basically they're going to get back up into the 44s, 4,400 area. And that's why it's doing all this, showing this strength here. It'll be interesting to see how they open the U.S. stock market if they start reaching for that again. There's a lot of choppiness on the very short-term intraday, but these other two intradays are showing lots of strength. They went into the buy right here, and they've moved up from 380 to 396. Same thing here. Went into the buy at 391, 4,391, and they're at 96. So we're seeing a lot of that strength there, and you can see they've really tailed off. They're not as aggressive right now as they were before. But the options are actually projecting up into the much higher area, another 150 points. So we'll see if they really give it to us. It has that look like it wants to too. It definitely does. All right. From there, let's see. What other product can we look at this point? Oh, Bitcoin. We should check out the Bitcoin and see what they're up to there. And that is also an area where they've been playing interestingly as they keep on vacillating back and forth. So let's see what Bitcoin looks like. Let's put it up over here. There's Bitcoin. You see that it's been moving down. We turn off that hinky for a second to see if it's up. Yeah, see, it's last 2 days it's been pressing up. 15.3 on the slow, 17.3 on the fast. I'm sorry, vice versa. 15.3 on the fast up top here, but it's 17. So it's still underwater. It's still feeling that pressure there on the Bitcoin. Let's see what we got over here. Right there. And you can see here it's been in a sell for 2 days. Also pressing down, and it's pressing into the weekly sell. They're really not reaching for the Bitcoin. A little surprised about that, especially with the way gold is. Let's see if gold is still zooming along. With gold moving up the way it is, you would think that the Bitcoin... so what's the high there? It was like 32. I think we were looking at it at 29 at one point. Now it's trading at 21. All right, so they're putting a little pressure on the downside there. Just a little downside pressure. Indeed, indeed. What else can we say? All right. Well, that's it with the stock indices. Any questions out there at all? We can talk about the options. At this point, the options market has basically missed the call when it comes to the gold and missed the call on the oil. But it is telling us that the stock indices have more room to go. Interesting. All right, let's go back to that intraday just to get a flavor of what's going on here. You see it's trying to do something here. Seems like is that the high? That's like the high of the day too. This could be a very explosive afternoon. We'll see. Huh. All right. Trying to think what else. I guess I'll also got to figure out what the name of this particular webinar will be. And it's been just a very sloppy, lazy type of week with all this excitement at the same time. It's been very exciting in a not good way, but just a very active week. So markets have been trying to figure out where they're going and why they're going. Now we thought the stock indices looked like they were trying to take off to new highs, and instead it seems to have failed altogether. They still haven't figured out who the speaker is going to be in the House of Representatives. All right. From there, we go over to, we looked at Bitcoin, we looked at the stock indices, looked at energy, and we've looked at the metals. So from there, where do we go next? Is there any stocks anybody wants to see? Giannis is usually pulling us into something. I found something interesting. Let me go to it. I was really surprised. What I've been seeing is that yesterday I saw Apple Computer act really well. I was really surprised about that. Let's take a look at it again today. Because the weekly looked like it was very close to going into a weekly, which had not been in a weekly for a long, long time. Months. There it is right there. Yeah, see, it's piercing through it now. We haven't been in a weekly buy in that product since almost the $200 area on, did it even make it? It was like 198, 196 area. We went into the weekly sell up in the 196. It traded down as low as 171, so about $25 drop. It tried, let's move that up. It tried to get going. The fast took off for this little bounce, which, let's just grab that and put it out right there. And this little bounce here. And then, did that get into the minus? That did get into the minus. So that was the minus. And the next day, went right back into the buy again, right there. And then you had this move here, but you can't do anything with it in the weekly sell unless you're doing just the options. Then we went right back into the sell, and obviously it was a nice win. But we're starting to see this thing flirt with, it's actually just through the weekly, which I thought was interesting, is because does Apple in many ways lead the market? In other words, if Apple looks good, then everything looks good. And so when I saw that yesterday, I thought to myself, Apple looking strong. Maybe that will be the noise, or Apple playing with weekly buy. Apple stock. That might be part of this at this point to be able to say that. But that's what we're seeing there. So we'll watch and see how this plays out. And Monday we'll take a peek and see. But that is a really good sign that there's some strength there in the Apple. Because if there's strength in the Apple, and it's also, as I said, you can see right here, let's see, where's it at? Right here. The Tech 100 is also showing that strength, and was in the weekly buy and is still in the daily buy. So it's holding on too. And it's very close, minus 2110, 2130, 21 even, 2090. It's trying to get into that buy. And it was in the buy. You can see the fast has really moved through it, but it has been in the buy for, was in the week. It was above the weekly buy throughout the week until yesterday. So that's that has also been something that I've looked at and thought, this could be a sign. If they can get the Apple back into a buy, it means money is coming back in. Now, where's that stock again? Let's take a look and see. The stock's trading in the 181 area. Now, we've got as low as 167. So it's $14 off. And when you really look at the high there of 198, we're $17 down from the I believe that's the all-time high too, isn't it? Did it make $200? I don't think so. Nah. That was it. That was the all-time high. So it's 17 down. Now 17 up from 67 is about another $3. So the question is, are we going to see, there's the high yesterday at was it 182.34. So it has a couple more dollars in there. So it's definitely got my eye, and we're going to pay attention to it, because maybe it'll tell us what the stock market wants to do. All right, traders. We will catch you all on Monday. There's Giannis. I see Giannis talking. Okay, so let me see if he's talking to me. Because I haven't seen him on the chat line. Remind me later. Let's see, Skype. And Giannis, let's see. All right, well, we'll start singing. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy weekend, everyone. Got it. We continue the same programming next week. Cool. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Catch you on the flip side on Monday. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. Bye-bye.